Hello, back again with some ancient archaeology, anthropology, cosmography. Um, See, this is an old picture of people from like southern China, just showing how, like, people think like a lot of the world is whitewashed, so we don't realize how the native people of a lot of places used to be quite dark, and many of them still are dark, but that's not who we're going to see on TV or on the internet for the most part, unless you know where to look. But even, you know, a lot of East Asian people were very dark skinned historically. And there's kind of been just a systematic whitening of every country as the Western Europe pours money into basically, Western Europeans support the whitest people in every place. So, whether it's in Egypt that is run by white, quote unquote, Arabs, or Mexico that is run by white, Spaniards or whatever it is. Well, I guess that's their own. The Latin America, the Spaniards did their own dirty work, so they didn't even need the U.S. to do that. So there's that. See this, this is the oldest painting on Earth. In Sulawesi, in Indonesia. And it seems to be a map. I think that this is Australia. And this could even be Sulawesi itself. It's not entirely clear what this guy is. He's the only one that's at least partly anthropomorphic, maybe anthropozoomorphic. He has a tail, but the rest of him is very anthropomorphic seeming. Maybe he's a monkey. But he's holding this like long staff. So I think this is the oldest Heka staff, which is like something that a lot of Egyptian gods would hold, and is basically like a crook of like a shepherd's staff, but it's it symbolizes magic, i.e., spell songs to memorize magic, memorize science, and it seems to symbolize marine impediments. So this is something that could block sailors. All of this can block sailors, of course, but this is like something you want to be careful sailing around. And that's how they're used in the 5,500-year-old Egyptian map. And so, yeah, that's the oldest Heka stuff. So it really shows that, like, the Egyptian religion, when they say that they trace themselves back, tens of thousands of years, it's correct. They're not bullshitting. Same as the Freemasons. The Freemasons trace themselves back thousands of years, and that's true. A lot of their knowledge is based on this same stuff. And this is one. So honestly, it's probably not true, but who knows? I was just thinking that it looks like his head is detached from his body. So I was thinking it made me think of this peninsula on, so-called peninsula on Sri Lanka, which is actually detached from the rest of Sri Lanka and is somewhat shaped like that. And then I was thinking, maybe this could be Sri Lanka, and then this could be that bay that's right there. Like, it's kind of the main bay, but it goes in, but it kind of looks like that, but you have to zoom way in to see that. But, you know, it's a good chance it's not, but good chance it's some other island or, you know, part of an island or continent. Who knows? You know, Britain and Ireland in the Hierakonpolis Tomb 100 map. See, this is a Mayan codex or something. Oh no, it's on a pot. So this is on the outside of a pot. So I'm thinking, I've long suspected that this could be a map of the Mediterranean, that like this looks like this snake could be Italy, and then this thing could be either Greece or Anatolia or something like that. Hard to be exactly sure, but it certainly could fit that in certain ways, or it could be something else similar. Not sure about this, if this is geographic or purely celestial. You know, this looks celestial. Anyway, One Ahau. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna show that okay, this is the oldest painting on Earth, I believe. So this, you know, you can't see the little guy as well here, but here he is with his long Heka staff or whatever kind of weird stuff that is. And I think this might be Australia. This is probably either Papua or Kalimantan, or yeah, something like that. And so yeah, probably one of these are, there's another one behind him, so these probably include Kalimantan, Papua, Sumatra, the Philippines, Sulawesi, and probably Java and the Lesser Sunda Islands. Could be that the Lesser Sunda Islands are this Heka stuff, since they're in a long line like that. But there's a lot of stuff that could be that in that area. But let's see. This is like the argument for Australia being this guy. That for this, the argument for that being Australia is that, you know, in these ancient avatars, they tend to just zero in on certain important features of the geography. So with Australia, they often focus on York Peninsula, or Cape York rather, and so that could be what they're doing here, where this is like zooming in on Cape York. So like this pointy bit here would be this little peninsula sticking out the end there. This little mouth or something in there could be like some little rivers that go in right there. This indent right here could be either this bay, you know, this inlet, or this other inlet or bay there. And then, you know, it kind of goes like, over there and then up. So that could be like here and then up. And then there's an indent there, so that could be like this bay right there. And then I'm guessing a lot of the internal part of this is just faded after, 45,000 years. Well, that kind of looks like a little birdie. All right, so this might be the oldest painting. I mean, it's the oldest painting of anything, but it might also be the oldest painting of Australia. And then it's like front legs would just be, what's it called? Coburg Peninsula, maybe the Tiwi Islands. So yeah, there you go. That's the close-up of Cape York. What else we got here? Yeah, I got that. Papua on the 5,500-year-old map. And Papua on the 30,000-year-old to 32,000-year-old map. And it's interesting that like this one, underneath this was like an older painting of some kind of animal that had like huge horns sticking out both directions. So that could have been from when they were more connected, like Australia and Papua were more connected, or who knows. I mean, it's honestly kind of surprising that the landscape was so similar 30,000 years ago to what it is now. And yeah, I don't know why this does this. Like, oh yeah, I don't think it's gonna let me close it. Stupid technology. Like, it just put these all into one, not just automatically. It just decided, no, we're just gonna put these all in one. So okay, and then it crashes, so I can't even close the Gotta love Silicon Valley, don't you? Isn't it great? So yeah, if it is Australia, it's really just focusing on a certain part of Australia. It's focusing on this, Cape York, and then this part here. It doesn't seem to deal as much with this part down here. Except this part, maybe just for the front legs. Coburg Peninsula and other stuff around there. I mean, there's similarity between this figure and this figure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're representing the same thing. Because, I mean, this could represent Papua if, like, this part is the tail, I guess, and then this is the legs somehow, and then, I mean, it kind of works for the arms, because you could say, like, Bird's Beak Peninsula is one arm, and, like, this little island there is, like, another arm, but I mean, it's hard to know because this one is so small compared to Australia, and also compared to all these other ones there, so that makes it seem like it's not Papua, since Papua is pretty large compared to all the other islands except Australia. And yeah, let's see what else we got here. Same thing there. And it's weird though, there's another version of this where it has more of these little islands. So I'm not sure, I guess they're not visible on this one, but either somebody made them more visible or did a reconstruction of it where they have a bunch of these little islands going down in a row and whatnot. And yeah, this is just another version showing Australia, Sulawesi, Kalimantan, Philippines, Papua, and New Zealand. And let's see what else we got here. So this is kind of a later, these are like later Heka staves. So I think the Heka staves might have been kind of traditionalized in a kind of standardized way, like a generic, just straight staff, even though they might be quite different from that in their actual shape of what they're representing. But the 45,000-year-old Sulawesi painting seems to show a much more realist version. And yeah, this guy, well, it doesn't show it here, but it's like along there. And this is something from further along on the same map. Not sure what exactly this guy is. And he has a bunch of little guys in front of him, little islands or whatnot. And then, let me see, I think my phone probably about to cut me off, but I'll just see what it says here. It talks about, I think this is about Britain being Finn McCool, the Fenian cycle. And, you know, like in Homer, it says that Homer passed the White Rock before he got to the underworld. And the Greeks called Britain Albion, which means white. And the Egyptians called Britain the white-haired one. And the Celts seem to have called Britain Finn, which means white, and was a reference to him being the white-haired one. Basically the White Cliffs of Dover. It's a memorable landmark. So this is like mythology about the Fenian cycle. Finn is both warrior, hunter, yada yada. Contact with the non-Christian otherworld. Well, otherworld usually means America, the underworld. And I guess I don't know like the order of this shit. See, out in the lake with you, children of Lear. Cry to the waterfowl. Then the 4 swans. So the 4 white swans, I think this could refer to Britain as, you know, in sections of Britain. And going out into the sea might refer to like the creation of Britain when it broke off from Europe when the sea level rose. Straits of Moyle. 300 years shall ye be upon the waters of Derivara, and 300 upon the Straits of Moyle between Arran and Alba. So that means between White, meaning Britain, and Arran, meaning Ireland.